Right, our next speaker is Jean Archery, and she's an author, speaker, certified financial planner, and a workplace coach. She's passionate about shifting how employees and their families think, feel, and behave with money. She left the corporate world 3 years ago to run Money Messages, a financial education and wellness program. Jean is a co-parent, her 15-year-old daughter, and when she's not working, you will find her in the gym kickboxing up a storm. So why don't you give a big hand to Jean for her presentation, Make Your Money Matter.
I remember lying on the bathroom floor, feeling overwhelmed by a great deal of sadness, bawling my eyes out, whilst one hand held the weight of my head, the other held a blade. How on earth did I get here? I had just found out that I'd passed matric, and I would be the first in my family to be able to study at a university. Now, this was a big deal for us, considering the disruptive circumstances in which I grew up in. And passing signified hope. We all know that our final year at school is a gateway to adulthood and a step towards financial independence. If you were born under the right financial circumstances, then the world would be your oyster. But if you were dealt a shitty deck of cards, well then, sorry for you. I was actually born into a wealthy home. But by the time I was 8, my father would leave, and in that process, we went from having wealth to having nothing. We lost our home. We relocated to Cape Town, where we were taken in by family, until our stay-at-home mom was able to stand on her own, sometimes working 2 jobs at a time just to survive. My childhood experience led me to want to become a child psychologist. I guess in some way it would help me to heal and deal with the trauma that I experienced growing up as a child of divorce, alcoholism, abandonment, and gender-based violence. So I guess now you'll understand why passing matric was such a big deal. I desperately wanted to deny or defy my circumstances. But once the dust of the excitement of passing settled and the reality of the future kicked in, I became despondent. The only thing standing between me and my dream was money, or the lack thereof, or so my 17-year-old self would believe. I hadn't bothered to apply for any student loans or bursaries. Why? Because I had become programmed to focus on problems and not solutions. You'll be glad to know that I did eventually complete my degree part-time, and the 10 years it took me also gained me a master's in excusitis and a PhD in self-pity. So, whilst I did not realize my dream of becoming a child psychologist, my journey did lead me down a completely different path. I will tell you this, though, studying psychology helped me to understand that our childhood experiences impact our behavior as adults. And if we did not resolve those challenges, then they would continue to show up in our life, in our relationships, with our career, with our money, and ultimately with our success. Which, by the way, is largely dependent on the stories we tell ourselves. You know what I'm talking about, that voice inside your head that bullshits you into believing whether you can or can't. And we all have this voice. But the difference between those who are successful and those who aren't is when they choose to listen to the voice. And the same applies to our financial success, with the main culprits being our beliefs, thoughts, feelings, and behavior. But if we can learn to channel this in a positive manner, then we have the power to shift how we think, how we feel, and how we ultimately behave with our money. In his book, The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel says that people do some crazy ass things with money. Okay, he doesn't say ass, but he does say that a child that is born into poverty will view risk and reward very differently from that of a child of a wealthy banker, which explains why those of us with a scarcity mindset are inclined to believe that life is hard and money is not easy to make, and we will never be wealthy and rich people suck, so we resign from taking positive action, just like I did with not applying for a student loan or a bursary, because the standard by which we live is why bother? My accidental career led me down a path of wanting to improve my relationship with money. And when I discovered that I could move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, I realized that the world could still be my oyster. And I wish everyone knew this. I wish everyone knew this and would stop ignoring the signs of how money or the lack thereof can either build or destroy families' hopes and dreams. So if you need to make your money matter, you can start by asking yourself these 4 simple questions. Number 1, how do you earn your money? Do you earn your money doing what you love, or does your job suck? Is making money costing you your health and the things that actually matter? Or are you making money through greed, corruption, and screwing people over? Be careful, because money karma is a... My daughter's in the room, I can't say the word. Number 2, how are you saving your money? Are you saving for the day that you may no longer be able to work? Did you know that only 6% of South Africans will retire financially comfortable? 6%. And if you are you saving in the right place, earning the right returns, and is it enough? Number 3, how do you spend your money? Are you spending money you don't have to buy things you don't need to impress and keep up with people that don't even matter? Or are you spending money frivolously because you only live once and tomorrow may never come? How you spend your money says a lot about what you value. Number 4, how do you give money? If you are in a position to do more, are you? And if you are giving, are you enabling people or are you empowering them? And when it comes to your children, are you teaching them to be resourceful or are you merely providing the resources? Your answers to these questions will tell you where the problems are and what it is you need to fix. So remember, whilst money may not be everything, everything needs money. I hope my message to you today helps you to live a more purposeful and fulfilled life by making your money matter. Thank you.